Look at this mic. Yeah.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is the weekly dose of Chop It Up. I am Anthony Smith, and I'm sitting right here with my guy.
Yo, P in the building. Ooh, y'all hear that? We done fixed some audio.
We back. On a budget, though. Don't get it twisted.
Super budget. Shout out to Amazon.
Yeah, one day. It said 2 days, but it was here one day.
We trying to get sponsored by them somehow.
Somehow, some way, man. Just make my Prime free. Just give me the Prime. Make that little $100 go away, and I'll be happy.
100%, man.
Today is going to be day 3 of Chop It Up, but episode 14, y'all.
Day 3?
Did I say day 3?
Day 3? What the hell are you talking about?
Day 3. Oh, Gig Talk 3. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Gig Talk 3. I'm in here sipping.
Yo, you hear him? I'm like, what's in that cup?
It ain't juice, baby. It's going down on Chop It Up, man. We just had an experience this past weekend, man, that happens all too often. And it's you just got to be ready for the situation that you got to be ready, but you also have to be flexible to where you can bend and make things work, even though it wasn't explained the way that it had to be shot. Because a lot of times these owners, these clients in general, they don't really know. They just know that they have an event and they need some coverage. And you better believe that when they give you the job, they're expecting A1. Even if you ask them, what do you have in your head? And the picture that he paints is not going to be what's there, what shows up, what happens. So, P, go ahead and start it off. Let them know what happened to us this weekend.
Right. So, we had this gig booked out for weeks past. Like, we knew this event was coming. It was for JC the Barber. He was coming to kind of educate everybody over at Signature Barbershop. So, it was a pretty big deal, pretty big gig. There's about 50 folks in attendance, so we already knew we were going to have to shoot around a crowd. So, I mean, just right off the top, we thought it was just going to be JC.
So let me put it to you guys like this. If you guys don't understand the who JC is, to us, JC would be our Peter McKinnon, but in the barber world. This is somebody who's been in the game for the past 6 to 8 years, and he's really doing his thing. And he is considered one of, I don't want to say the only, but a Hollywood style barber. He cuts all famous people, all athletes, all the big dough. And he came up basically to kind of get these guys under the realm of they don't need to,
You don't need to stay underneath the bubble, and the biggest thing that I think that he spoke on is, man, you got to charge for your talent. You got to charge what you feel like you deserve, and this is how you do it.
He broke it down. He did his thing. It was super good the way that it happened, and especially to have Poe bring that to the high desert. It was just a good look all around. We just felt a little left out on the filming end because we're in a group text because we do all of the filming and all of the photography for the shop. So we had been talking back and forth with the owner, just trying to see what was going on, and everything was super basic. And I knew that it was going to be a little bit more than basic because once I looked up who JC was, I'm like, okay, this is kind of a big deal. Even though I'm not a barber and I don't know who JC is, a lot of these guys are going to know who JC is, and it's going to be a big deal. And it was, people came out from Texas, Chicago, up the hill, down the hill. And it was huge. When I heard people that flew in from out of state just to come and hear this guy talk, and he was local in our high desert, that was like kind of mind blowing to me.
Right, and it was super good for the desert. Like he said, he blessed folks with some super good knowledge that just a lot of people don't do. So hats off to JC, man.
Right, and we could kind of tell that maybe some of the videographers that he's worked with before weren't on our level just due to the way that he was acting. He was just like, let's roll it. Let's, and it's like, no, that's not the way that it works. We need to know what's going to happen, what you're going to do, so we can be prepared and ready to get the shot. Because if we're just sitting there and you come from the back and you want everybody to clap and raise their hands and da-da-da-da-da, we have to be able to let them know to make that happen so it all looks good on film. None of that. You know what I mean? So us taking the time to go back there and talk to JC to break things down was, it was major, but it's something that has to be done at every gig. It's like you go to a wedding, you're going to talk to the bride and the groom to see what's going on, no matter if you already talked to them 3-4 times. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times you're talking to the bride and the groom, and then you get there and you're talking to a wedding planner that you've never seen before in life. But that's just the way it works out.
Right. You definitely want to set your expectation out there. So that's, that's the time that we were able to take to do so. And, thank God that we carry our bags full of everything, because
that takes it all.
We definitely ran into some unexpecteds, which always happens. It always happens. But we had a situation where we thought only one person was talking, and he had an entourage with him, and he had another person that was going to be speaking as well, which we did not know from the jump. So good thing I had my extra set of mics. And, we were able to mic the second guy up because, we ran a 3-camera setup for the situation. And, it was fun, man. It was definitely fun. But it had its challenges that if we didn't have no experience, we definitely could have fumbled that whole situation up, like straight up.
Correct. And we had a little bit of advantage because we've shot there before quite a few times. Like I told you guys, this is the barbershop that we shoot at. This is where we've been getting our haircut for the past 15 years. So seeing Poe grow the way that he has just been amazing. But we had a little bit of an upper hand because we were on our home court. But as much upper hand as we had, we was down in the first quarter.
Hell yeah, we were. Man, you talk about you go through a whole situation like, hey, we're gonna mic you up, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this, and the shit starts, and he don't grab the mic.
Exactly. He was so hype, he forgot the mic. I'm looking and I'm listening, and I'm like, oh no, he forgot the mic. But it was kind of a live event type deal. You know what I mean? Like once he started going, I didn't just want to interrupt him and say, hold it, stop, cut, like it was a music video. That just couldn't happen. So I subtly went over, grabbed the mic, and kind of got his attention, handed it to him. And that was like 3 minutes in, but 3 minutes of 3 hours.
Right.
So.
And we're still able to pretty much recover. That's one thing that I like, no matter what, man, no matter however many camera bodies you have, you need to have a microphone for it. Just because you never know when you're going to need to pull something. You don't know if the mic you gave them for whatever reason dies or turns off or whatever. You need to be able to still grab some audio to recover, to fix the situation, no matter what.
I hate to one up you, but what about the big picture when we were supposed to be there for 60 minutes and ended up there for 3 hours?
Woo, man, that's another thing, man. So if you guys listened to some our podcast earlier, we talked about what do you do before you get to a gig, and we touched on all that stuff. Me personally, I show up with all my batteries charged no matter what, for the exact reason that happened just this past weekend, man. We showed up, we thought it was only going to be an hour, and like Ant said, it ran for 3.
I could tell when we got to 45 minutes, he was just warming up. Right,
straight up. So, I've been ragged on before, like, why do you carry such large memory cards? Well, shit, what if I'd rather have one memory card that's going to record for forever than a bunch of little ones where I'm going to have to be switching out and doing this and doing that and doing this
100%,
and doing that.
100%.
And we kind of ran into that, because we were running out of the Atomos through our main camera. Luckily, we had a break in the middle, but we had to dump footage because we didn't expect to be recording for so long. So if you guys don't know, like we use an external recorder to get higher resolution. So the files were
huge,
humongous. We had almost, the end of that project was almost a terabyte.
Full terabyte. And it was like 897 gigs. And I'm like, good God, like this is full 4K for 3 hours straight.
Huge.
The
huge.
files were humongous coming out of these cameras. But luckily we were 100% prepared for that aspect of what happened. You know, it was just a matter of dumping some of the higher res footage that came out of the Atomos, because that thing was recording uncompressed, and it was just like the files were huge. I think every 30 minutes was 200 gigs.
Crazy.
So it was insane. So I filled up that 500 gig it's a SSD, 500 gig SSD, and it wasn't full by the time we came to first break, but I knew that we weren't going to make it because I could tell by JC's energy that he still had a lot to go. So they took a brief intermission to go use the restroom, get waters, kind of chat it up, talk a little bit. And in that time, as soon as I seen the break coming, I went directly to the back, grabbed the laptop, dumped footage. Now, normally I don't really take my computer with me because it's just something else to worry about. But luckily, I wanted to make sure that everything was perfect coming from 3 different kinds of cameras to make sure our angles were as best as they could be. The settings for the lighting and everything were as best as they could be. So it wasn't going to be a pain in the butt for us to come back and try and edit that footage. So we had done our homework before time. Like we're telling you guys, do your homework, as much of it as you can before time, so you don't have to worry about that stuff. So that took the sweat off of me, but the laptop was still there just in case. And luckily it was there.
Right. And we found, the like he talked about the first quarter, we forgot that because we shot with the EOS R
Yes.
as the main, and then we shot on the sides with GH5s, and the GH, that shit gonna record till it run out, till it die, period. Now the EOS R don't.
Beast mode.
So first quarter, it stopped. But luckily we had 2 other angles. We were able to cut out, get over there, and, start to record over and still pick it up. And that's the stuff that, we're still getting experience ourselves. And it's just stuff that, you just learn and you just move and you groove with it. You just gotta know, like, me and Ant have shot with each other for so much that we just know, like, we were moving camera angles and everything like that. And we just knew, like, it wasn't even like no words needed. Just kind of just look over, and we already knew what he was doing. Like, okay, I got to cover this while he go gets this other shot.
That's my dog.
And then,
that's my dog.
We cut out and then made sure we was able to get like some B-roll of the crowd and all kinds of stuff. It's definitely a really cool project. And we, this was a team effort on this one. And we can't wait to put this thing out. It came out super dope, but it definitely had some potential to go wrong. That's for sure, man.
A lot of potential to go wrong, but due to us being prepared, that's all it takes, is just being prepared. One thing after another, being prepared. And me trying to bring the whole bag, I forgot something and had to double back. But luckily, the shop is 5-10 minutes from the house. So I was able to, and we showed up extra early so we could make sure that everything was right. And that was just another part of being prepared. You know what I mean? Getting there early, making sure if you forgot something that you're going to be able to figure something else out. And we were able to do that. And right when I got there and grabbed all the bags out the car, I realized that I was missing a battery. And the main thing for the battery was I wanted to plug in directly to the wall rather than using batteries, because the Atomos eats batteries alive. And I was like, I don't even want to chance it. Let me just hardwire it, plug it directly in. So that's what that was for. So if we didn't have time, I still had brought batteries for the Atomos, so we still would have made it through.
But yeah, man, that was just some ins and outs of the gig. We definitely enjoyed ourselves. That's the number one thing I like. When you get in situations like that, do not start stressing, man.
Don't do it.
As soon as you stress out, you're gonna start fucking up a whole bunch of other stuff. So just keep your cool and just roll what you got. And
then another gym, we shot for 3 hours, like we've been saying, which was the longest that I've ever shot continuously at any gig. But there's so many videos that are going to come from this 3 hours. It's going to be ridiculous. And that's one thing that you guys need to start thinking about, is making micro content out of the content that you shoot. Don't just use one project and now it's done. Reuse it. Grab different pieces from it. Post it. Take screenshots. Post them. Whatever you got to do to expand that until you get to your next gig, or just to even make it seem like that gig was a little bit bigger than what it was, you got to do it.
Right. You definitely, if you're doing the work anyway, you might as well maximize what you're doing.
Yes, and that's another way to maximize the amount of money that you're able to charge clients, because now, even though you went out and shot one day, we only owe one video. But if I tell the owner, we can kind of chop this up and get 10 videos out of this, you don't think he's going to be ready and willing to pay for that? Because all that is more advertisement for him. He's going to see more money. So why shouldn't you or we get more money?
Right, straight up. And, sometimes you'll get like folks that'll be like, well, can you just give me the footage? They ain't going to do nothing with that footage. It just if you were going to edit your own footage, you wouldn't have me to be there anyway. You're not going to take the footage and do
if they want the footage. Charge them for the footage. Because
right.
That's not something that they paid for. They paid you to come out and make a promo video, make a wedding video, make a whatever the case may be. You were there to do one, maybe two videos. Maybe you took a longer form video like this one that we had, laid that all the way out and put that on a platform like YouTube that can support that. Put it on Facebook for them. Then they wanted you to chop that down to like a 1 minute highlight reel. After that, that's all they're getting. If they're asking you for all of your footage and didn't pay for it, you never know what they're going to do with it later on. Because we've come into situations where we've seen our footage re-chopped. And I'm talking about, we didn't even give them the project files. We just gave them the project files, and they re-chopped our files from that one video and added some other stuff that someone else shot and tried to put it out there as if it was something new.
Right. So that's definitely a reason why, like, if folks do want the footage for whatever reason, they got to pay for it. Because you're potentially handing away another gig that you could have did for that client.
100%.
And that's to me, that's the way that it has to be explained. Like, hey, if you want the footage, that's cool. I got to charge you more. And they said, well, why? Well, then why would you need me to come back?
Yeah.
Like that, then that's just what it is,
Be a professional about it. The other thing on Gig Talk I wanted to kind of bring up is make sure you're not just out there shooting. Bring the complete, total, full package when you come out there, because me and P are one-man bands, right? So when we come, we are doing lighting, we're doing the CA work, the DP work, the director's work, the scaffers work, anything that you can possibly think of. It's only us 9 times out of 10. And the other 10th of the time is me backing him up or him backing me up. So you don't have a full team of people out there, and they need to realize that when they hire you, they're hiring a team of people.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's just you showing up. It's still your job to do all of these things to give them the best possible project. So when you're talking to these people, figure out what their vision is. You know what I mean? What's the age group of clientele that they're trying to reach out and they're trying to get, because kids want to see stuff that's boom, 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 boom. Somebody that's 40 and up, they want to see it played out a little bit. You know what I mean? They don't need all the crazy bass. They don't need all the crazy cuts. They just want to see, maybe it's a restaurant. They just want to see the restaurant, right? So let's just use a restaurant. So a restaurant during the daytime is a restaurant. As soon as the nighttime comes, it's a club. So when you're talking to that owner, he wants to put out the club portion, but he still wants to get both age groups. How are you going to go about it? You got to chop 2 different videos because they're going toward 2 different age groups.
Right. And they definitely need to have two separate feels.
Because I know my mom don't want to hear no with some chops and it's just going all crazy.
You want Lil Jon in the background?
Yeah. She's going to be like, that's not the spot for me.
Right.
But not every single night they're going to have that going on. But that could be bad for business for them if the wrong person sees it and doesn't see something that is more rooted for them.
Hey, let me jump back to like bringing gear to the gig. Let me tell y'all something about this man Ant over here. He loves his Amazon.
I got a little problem.
This week this boy showed up. It wasn't even no regular hoverboard. It looked like something out off the Jetsons. Like it was supposed to be making noise like me. It had lights and everything. This dude was rolling around with what are they even called?
A Segway.
A the dude had a Segway with like 20-inch rims on it.
You know the joint Paul Blart had on it?
He had spinners on it.
Mall Cop. We got one of those. You know
this
what I mean?
man,
listen.
This man was like, "Hold on, I'm gonna run in and I'm gonna come back out." I'm like, we gotta make 2 trips." He's like, "Nah." He pulls the damn Segway out and zooms off.
We out of here. I'm gonna get me a wagon to go behind my Segway, and I'm just gonna be killing stuff, just pulling my little wagon, wearing them out.
If y'all follow us on Instagram, y'all see on the last show that we did, the last dog show that we did, this dude was filming with the damn Segway.
Got to get them smooth, crispy shots, baby.
He said, "I don't need no gimbal this week."
No gimbal needed. It was a couple other videographers that were in there, and I'm like, they looking over at me like, "Oh yeah, we not ready. That's Ant right there. We not ready. He really does this. Every time he pulls up on something weird, crazy, futuristic, trying to do too much."
I'm telling you, he's gonna show up in an Iron Man shoot one day, just be flying around everybody.
When Amazon starts selling it with the jetpack, we out of here. It's on, baby.
Well, man, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. You know, we like to everything don't gotta be a tutorial. You know, we still drop some gems, but we like just shooting the shit with y'all and getting this gig talk on out.
Yes, sir. I am your man, Anthony Smith.
Yo, P in the building.
And this is... Man, you need to try that Segway out.
Man, I'm bust my ass on the Segway. Fuck that.